that Kraken. So they played it out really well. They baited out a fight by the turrets, and they actually won. Getting that extra 1,500 gold was like pretty much dependent on like how they would scale later on.
All right, it does look like we're moving into the draft. SK Gaming taking out Adagio once again. So it's not really a priority pick for them, it seems. I would have expected BlH to be the ones who banned Adagio, but it looks like SK Gaming, they don't want to take that as their first pick.
It's actually a pretty good decision on SK's part, because now BlH has to either ban one, which is probably going to be about an Arden, I'm assuming, and it leaves Sky open. Like, Sky has been like the big factor in the games today. And with looking at all these teams and how so many of them can actually play Sky very well, using that repositioning, just trying to eliminate as many heroes as they can during the team fights.
Yeah, and here we do see SK Gaming obviously taking that Sky, a very, very powerful pick for them, able to run it both weapon and crystal, depending on who wants to play it. So Jetpacks or Waldemar, this really does limit the options that BlH does have. Because if Jetpacks does play that weapon Sky, it means that those melee heroes coming out from BlH will have a very difficult time. And if Waldemar goes crystal, well, we've seen how well Crystal Sky does.
Definitely. And on BlH side is like they do have the option of running Rona again. And hopefully they do. Yeah, they do.
All right, the Rona and Catherine coming out. So, you know, pretty standard stuff coming out from BlH. This is something that's pretty much tried and true for them. What do you think SK Gaming is going to counter with?
I do want to see another Kroll today, especially coming out of Jetpacks. I'm a fan of his work, and he's done really well with this Kroll. Like, even Addy in the back was just like, wow.
All right, so SK Gaming, let's see what so they go with the Petal again, which is very effective against the Rona and Catherine combo, and they take up Fortress with it. Any reasons why they would do so?
They're pretty much playing like counter picks right now. We saw how well they actually did with Petal and Sky earlier, and if it works, just keep running it up.
Yep, so BlH, they're going to have to do something to mix things up, because taking the Ringo, pretty effective against Sky early on, but against the Petal, it might be a little bit tricky.
There's a chance that like they thought about this. They're like, if we go with the CP Ringo, we're able to start our fights with an ultimate and hopefully like do that much damage to one hero where Rona can just jump in and pretty much delete him from the game. But like looking at item builds on both teams this run, we're going to have to see like Warhorns on Catherine's going to be really helpful, and like just building very tanky on this Rona. This Rona has to build like extremely tanky, getting all that defense just to be able to live through like Sky's initial skills, to be able to like jump into the fray, making sure that she's positioned in a way where like she's soaking up all the damage from the Petal and the Fortress, and able to have Ringo standing in the backline, especially if he's building CP.
All right, any more thoughts on these team compositions of SK Gaming and BlH?
I actually really like SK's Gaming's composition this game, and I do think they'll come out with the win.
All right, take us into the game. We will have Forecourt Jester and Tasty Bacon once again. Take it away.
All right, thank you, Zekent. And as mentioned, we're getting into game number 2 of our third place match. It is SK Gaming and BlH. BlH with the 1-0 lead. But this is the composition SK ran when they got a perfect game.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, there's no Saw this time. The Sky feels like just such a powerful pick between both of these teams. And now Jetpacks, you know, has that possibility of bringing it out. I talked to him about the weapon Sky. As long as the team comp permits it, it's not something you can go do it blind. And, well, we'll have to see if this team comp actually permits it. But BlH coming back into that one, like Bash, Cold Ice, Sasiga. Cold Ice was really kind of the big guy in that last round with that Sky. He really did repeated harassment up against Waldemar. He did repeated poking, and ultimately, I think, you know, a lot of it was just on him for winning that game.
Yeah, and BlH right there proving that they as a team are cold as ice, being able to keep themselves steady and confident despite literally facing defeat. You know, just a couple of attacks away from losing that game and able to turn it around. But we are going to be getting into game here in just a couple seconds, and we'll have to see. Can SK turn it around and force a second game 3, or will it be BlH finally getting their revenge on SK?
Well, a lot of it will also have to do with MYQ, I feel. I mean, on that support, on that roam, he's definitely been doing a heck of a job this tournament, I gotta say. But, you know, whenever I see a Fortress, I think early game, whenever I feel early game, it's like, I'm really dicey on just kind of calling it, will that aggression work? Because, you know, the Koshka combos have been very hit or miss here. And, you know, this is kind of like match point in some regard. If BlH takes this one, SK is relegated to 4th.
Yep, and they are now onto the fold, and we are underway. SK Gaming on the blue side, BlH on the red. This could potentially be third place getting decided.
Some crowd favorites as Petal once more into this. Now, Petal has a really strong track record here in our EU Live Finals. I think only one loss between them, but Jetpacks, there he is. He's on that laning Sky. Definitely becoming a favorite, at least in my book.
Yeah, definitely a Sky is, we mentioned it before, so incredibly important to both of these teams and really to every team, but
wow.
My goodness,
What?
Speaking of important.
50-second first blood.
And it was a one-on-one too. There wasn't a gank, there wasn't anything. It was just a straight up first blood picked up by Jetpacks.
Well then, off to a good start once more. SK Gaming here into game number 2, but we'll have to see if they can keep up with that kind of momentum. Here's the counter into it. Jetpacks does get the level 2 series strike out, and he is actually going to be A-OK. Bastion and Sasuke, though, they're going to start looking, I think, for... Oh, I want to say they're going to go for the counter jungle. There's no way we're going for a level 1 tower dive.
Yeah, I don't think so. And especially now that the fact Jetpacks has recalled, means that they're not going to have any chance. But looking at the other side of the map, Waldemar and MYQ taking away those deep camps. However, looking back over onto the SK side, Blackhawk just answering with the exact same thing.
It's rather expected. I mean, you exit out of that bush, you can pretty much guarantee that they're going to be going off with that invade. So Waldemar and MYQ, it's really no big deal. They are able to just trade it out pretty nicely. And Jetpack's coming back to lane, a few more potions, but double weapon blade. Again, it will be that weapon Sky.
Actually, Waldemar and MyQ came out a little bit on top there because they were able to get both back jungle camps, while the side of Blackhawk, they could only take the double camp in the back. The healer camp was still left alive. So very, very small advantage, but still an advantage nonetheless. Yeah,
hey, every advantage counts, especially when it comes to crowning yourself in bronze versus 4th place. The money's all good, but it's all about the bragging rights. These guys have been just so amicable this weekend. Everyone's been hanging out. They've been having fun. But when it comes to it, I mean, it is a tournament. You are here to win.
Yeah, and the thing I do really like, though, that Blackhawk did do, the vision traps. They have scout traps down not only on their own camps to see if their jungle's being invaded, but also in the opposing side. But now they're coming in for a gank.
Hello, Jetpacks. One merciless pursuit right on top of him. Sasuke there with that into the fray. Perfect execution. They take down the Sky, and SK just a little bit too far forward and getting punished very nicely here from Blackhawk as they get onto the board.
Yeah, it was that 3-on-3, but Blackhawks were the one who had the slight advantage. They had they got the jump onto Jetpacks. And great job by Sasuke coming out with the Into the Fray as soon as the Series Strike went out so that there was no escape.
Yeah, as I said, it was a really good prediction. They knew that there was going to be a Series Strike, so she went and did the cutoff from the escape. Usually it's the death from above that cuts off from the escape, but again, Sasuke, big points right there. 1-1 for the kills, 300 gold, still pretty much anybody's game. Waldemar with the Eclipse Prison coming into this, and now Swift Shooter for Sky. It feels like Sky's really been just kind of slowed down. I mean, it came out early, got that first blood, 18 creeps, but if you look at Cold Ice, 23.
Yeah, so despite getting that really early kill, Cold Ice has definitely come back very strong. It didn't let it bother him, didn't phase him at all. Of course, with the death timer so low within the first minute of the game, it didn't actually impact him much in terms of losing out on CS or anything, especially because the counter gank came in so quickly afterwards from the rest of Blackhawk.
I was almost curious to see if that was going to be a bait right there as you recall into that lane. Sasuke and Bastion, we're waiting for it, and it looks like they might even get Jetpacks for their trouble. The forward barrage actually doing good work. Bastion, however, into the back will get that last hit, and we don't actually have anyone to punish this. They are going to be able to walk away because there's no Petal. She's off deep jungling, and of course with the Sky down, MYQ, it's way too early for him to kind of do too much here, but Cold Ice, he actually did a great call here with this interception. Will he pick up the kill? Don't think so. Oh, well, he didn't get the Merc, but he might actually still be able to get this kill, especially with a scout trap that lands on top of him. But Petal, he's not going to go down easy. She will get that Ringo, and Bash, I don't think Bash can actually approach this. Not with a Fortress right there. Fortress is now going to chase her down, but the merciless pursuit, there's enough move speed right there, and I got to give it to Waldemar. I really thought he was going to be a cornered flower right there, but he bloomed.
Yeah, that spontaneous combustion just did so much work, not only healing Waldemar and keeping him alive through the efforts of Cold Ice and Bash, but just able to also get the kill for himself. And now SK, they turn and immediately go ahead, pick up the gold miner for that decent gold payout. And just like that, they've now given themselves about a 1,500 gold lead. It's not the biggest gold lead, but it's still, you take every advantage you can.
Between a Frostburn coming out for the pedal and now a Shiver Steel for MYQ, we're going to be looking for some of that slowing power to come into effect here in the next few moments for SK Gaming. This should be, well, not a hard peel, but it should actually really help out Jetpacks with his mobility, especially if the opponents can't really chase that down. But at the same time, Fortress can use that movement speed and the Shiver Steel slow to kind of stick on targets there as well. If you can keep Jetpacks going, or even keep Waldemar going, I mean, the combustion is great, the trampoline's fantastic, but you will run out of tricks. This could actually go very well for SK Gaming.
Yeah, and Waldemar did get that Frostburn as the first item. Going to be adding slows on top of everything he does, which is so effective when you have someone like a Fortress and a Sky on your side, because of the fact that you're already going to be moving very quickly. Now you're slowing the opponents down. You can just start running circles around them.
All right, so Cold Ice, something that kind of slipped my mind a little bit. He has a Crystal Ringo. So those auto attacks not going to be quite as empowered as we have been seeing a lot of Weapon Ringo whenever he does sort of kind of come to light. But this round, the Achilles Shot, the Hellfire Brew, those are going to be the big main tools for him. I mean, his auto attacks are still going to be great. We're going to have to see if he picks up that Alternating Current or that Aftershock. But Jetpacks, again, he's going to be a big target right here. That's the Hellfire Brew. Death from Above will actually stop Bastion from finishing this one off, but he burns in the back because Cold Ice, again, is that Crystal Ringo.
Yeah, the burning damage on top of Hellfire Brew when you're building crystal power on Ringo is so strong. I mean, we saw it hit, and
I think it had like 20% health.
Still had about a quarter of his health, and it just melted it through. And meanwhile, though, Waldemar.
Oh man, can he actually go 2v1 on this? He's going to Trabampoline out of that one, but Sasuke can't actually get this kill. One more shot. It's not going to happen. Here comes Sky. Fortress is now in the back there. He's looking to just cut off the escape. Sasuke will find it. It will be a kill for MYQ, and Bash is just not going to be looking good here either, as Jetpacks solidifies a 2-0 exchange. Cold as Ice just nowhere to be found.
Yeah, well, I mean, Cold as Ice was still back in the base, but they
can't find him.
Waldemar, again, spontaneous combustion has just saved his life twice in a row now. That time in a straight up 2-on-1 situation, able to get the healing and the damage that is needed to turn it around.
Yeah, Jetpack's gonna get. I mean, mechs don't really have Achilles or heals, but whatever works. That was a 242 damage hit right there.
They have circuits and joints.
Look at this. Cold Ice just goes straight into a Shatter Glass.
Yep, first item Shatter Glass.
Yeah.
All about that damage on the ultimate.
And so, well, it proved himself very useful, or at least for one kill. We'll have to see if he's going to regret that a little bit later by not empowering some of those auto attacks. MYQ, no fear, just jumps right in, but unfortunately, the Truth of the Tooth just not going to be bringing forth anything out of that one. 4 kills, 3, a much more even game here, especially at the 8-minute mark. Only about 2,500 gold between the teams. If we recall, in game 1, it was at this point that SK Gaming, with that Saw, was pushing in, that third turret about?
Yeah, pretty much. They were just so far ahead. But again, this is a totally different team composition. This is not a team composition that's going to fall off like a rock at 15 minutes. So it's perfectly okay for the fact that they haven't been able to push in yet. There's the Sorrow Blade now picked up by Jetpacks on this weapon power Sky. So going to be starting to put out a lot of damage with those criticals.
Well, a lot of people say, it doesn't scale as well, but when you fall off a cliff, that's what I think is a little bit better. Cold Ice, absolutely no chance right there. 3-on-1, Death from Above. He had nowhere to go, and I do not believe he had a reflex block. Actually, I say that, but he definitely has one in his inventory. Doesn't matter, he goes down. Look, this could actually be a nice opportunity to land some turret damage.
Yeah, definitely, especially with just the Rona and Catherine here. They use that minion candy as well.
Well, that absolutely melted. Even bringing out the little puppies into this one. Bash now, he's going to try to create some space here for Sasuke to get away, but Passion is just going to drop out of that one. Munions and puppies. Oh my, there are so many units on the map here for SK Gaming.
Yeah, they get a lot of little helpers here in their fights, but 6-3 now in terms of kills. They're looking very strong, but again, they looked very strong up until minute 15 in game 1.
Absolutely. So MYQ is just going to force us to get back a little bit. Cold Ice is going to be holding down this lane for a little bit longer. 10 minutes in. What is the gold mine looking at? Well, we did just have that payout. So where is the fortress going?
I'm not entirely sure.
Okay, so don't know what that was about, but he definitely went way too deep looking for something.
Yeah, not entirely sure, but either way, we are going to be now seeing the gold miner just paid out not too long ago, so still going to be about 3 minutes or so until that is going to pay out again, but Blackhawks, they are making a move like they want to go for it.
Yeah, I'm a little hesitant to call this good. Bash just loses pretty much all of his hit points immediately. Waldemar's going to be burning down. Big shields, big heals, and Waldemar will actually live through this one. You cannot burn down this flower. This isn't Super Mario, and this is now, again, another big turnaround. This is what I was afraid of. It might have been a 2v3 situation, but Waldemar has defeated these engages so many times now.
Yeah, the spontaneous combustion is just absolutely disgusting. The amount of healing that Waldemar is getting off of that ability is just, it's kept him alive. Now, again, you've said it, 3 times we've seen it.
In fact, Petal is 104. The only person in this match to not have died yet.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive considering Petal, doesn't exactly have the most hit points.
No, but I got to give it to a little bit of that kiting. The Frostburn's doing some absolutely fantastic work. And again, it's not the hard peel, but enough soft peel for Jetpack. He's going to be able to do a lot of work. It might not be the Crystal, but Sora Blade's definitely hitting hard. And there's a breaking point on him now as well.
Yeah, a lot of the weapon power Sky is focused on those auto attacks. Getting someone target locked and then just dancing around the fight, making sure you don't get hit. Obviously going to be able to avoid the red mist of Rona pretty easily, considering Rona does slow herself when she uses that, and of course Sky speeds herself up. So it can really just completely negate Salsiska on this weapon power Jewel or Sky.
All right, so we're checking out some bushes. We're going to be moving forward a little bit here. SK Gaming still pretty much in control of this matchup to a large degree. 14,000 gold now, hitting about the 8 mark. That's a good difference of 6, and that's a very solid lead to have here from SK Gaming. When it comes to the turrets, however, I believe it's only just 1 down if you look at the numbers, and Kraken, he's going to be making his appearance here fairly soon. If SK Gaming just controls the map until then, well, they're going to get another good payout and a good position to take the Kraken as well.
Yeah, and NYQ also just got a Fountain of Renewal. That means this team is going to be so difficult to kill. You're going to have the healing of the Fountain of Renewal, the healing of spontaneous combustion. There's so much health you have to get through if you are the side of Blackhawk. And the Hellfire Brew, it's going to be negated. Like that dot damage is just going to be completely negated with all this healing.
And that's a big strength there from Cold Ice. With that Shattered Glass, he hasn't really put too much else in his inventory since. Picked up a Heavy Prism. Another big comparison is the word, from Salsiska to Jetpack. So that is a heck of a difference when it comes to those completed items.
Yeah, there isn't actually a completed item in the inventory of Salsiska. Yeah.
I mean, the best is, 6 sins? Maybe you can make an argument for Barbed Needle.
Yeah, I mean, there's 4 tier 2 items. There isn't a single tier 3 completed yet.
Yeah, as I said, a little bit of a big difference. When it comes to 6,500 gold, I mean, I'm sure that SK Gaming does not feel bad at all for splurging a little, but still, 14 minutes is about to come into this. That gold miner is very close to paying out, and then we're going to be looking at Kraken pressure. 11 kills, though. We've slowed down a little bit. We had something over a kill a minute in our first game, and of course, a lot of turret pressure. But Blackhawk is very resilient when it comes to this. I wouldn't quite count them out yet, but at the same time, it's a heck of a mountain to climb.
Yeah, and there is finally the first tier 3 item for Salsiska, but at the same time, Waldemar just picked up his second. So there's so much of a difference. I mean, Salsiska has 41 CS to the 97 of Waldemar.
And check out 109 to, well, it was 109, 115 now as Cold Ice is just picking up the last hits here with this push in. But there is something to be said for the last hit numbers. Now, NYQ is going to get stunned out, but he's a tanky beast at this point, and he's not going to be really too terribly afraid of this one. And 15 seconds to crack it. This doesn't feel like a great time to fight, does it?
No, it really doesn't. You don't want to run the risk of going too deep underneath that turret right before Kraken spawns. It can end up being a huge mistake. So instead, they just back off. There is going to be the alternating current finally picked up by Cold Ice.
There we go.
That's going to be really big.
Absolutely. So the Kraken is out. Now we see teams. Ringo did just go back, as you said, alternating current. This is where you really want to put up a little bit more of that cash. Double infusions coming out for the pedal, for example, because this is really where you need to start that fight. You know, we bided our time. We got those creeps. We spent the money. But even then, like Blackhawk, all right, so the Kraken is not exactly capturing at record paces here. So we have a little bit of time. If Blackhawk doesn't make a move, though, I mean, they are going to have to just, again, be very much on the defensive.
Yeah, they have to assume that this is either being taken or being baited out, but they're not moving at all. They're just standing back waiting. They're actually recalling back to base, and
Got to go get those infusions now that they know.
yeah, but only Catherine went back and didn't actually complete anything.
Jetpacks just picked up 2. And they're actually in the inventory. That's why I can't see them.
Waldemar also picking up double infusions as well. So this
SK
could very well be
Yeah.
SK taking this one if they get a really strong fight.
Well, there's the death from above, but the reflex blocks are good. We are going to be just A-okay. The turret, however, is going to go down very quickly. It did actually go over to Fortress, believe it or not. And the Kraken, you know, he's looking very healthy. This will be the second turret. Usually past this, anything else is just going to be a huge bonus to the wallet. And, of course, the pressure coming out. Waldemar into the back. He's getting some good damage out, but Cold Ice was poking him down. Death from above will now force back Blackhawk, as now we got some puppies into it as well. Into the fray is not exactly doing the work it needs to. The combustion, the heals. Bash not looking so good. Big crits from Jetpack as he takes down Ringo, and now Sasuke as well is just not going to be able to hold. Jetpack just chases him down. 300, 300, 300 dead. 4 turrets going ridiculous, and a Kraken into the Crystal. We're going once again to Game 3.
Yeah, and Jetpacks, he was up over 10 steps.